Um, so for me, as a tea shop owner, I think it's quite interesting to share some pros and cons in terms of having a business in Argentina. I'll try to be as real as honest as possible. The downside of having a tea shop in Argentina, is that we are competing with the national beverage, which is mate. And actually, some of the mate plantations are next to the tea plantations. So it's a lot to do with customs, culture. We think about the Argentine history in the late 19th century, early 20th century. There were lots of immigrants coming in from Italy and Spain and other European countries. So they brought their customs with them there. Another issue we're having up to today is high inflation. So I am regularly checking my prices for my supplies, making sure I'm updated. So that is quite a challenge for me as a shop owner. It's quite difficult as well to source teas from abroad. We are very limited, but on the plus side, that's what got me intrigued in terms of finding tea from Argentina. So thankfully for that, I am on my journey. But there obviously are very lots of pros to share as well in terms of being a tea shop owner in Argentina. We have tea plantations. That's a lot to be said, because I basically, on a normal day-to-day basis, I'll jump on the plane and go visit Taro and his family, and I'll be able to touch the tea leaves for myself, to see with my own eyes how they're working. Any questions I have, I can literally just send Taro a message and he'll come back to me as soon as possible. So the fact I can work so closely with tea farmers, I feel like it's a real privilege and a real honor to be able to say that to you today. As I mentioned before, I feel like I'm part of what's happening in Argentina at the moment, lots of experimental work going on. If I show you some leaves now, this is what Taro has been able to produce, white tea, beautifully done. So say he'll explain that a bit later, but this is what's happening here at the moment. So it's not just commodity tea which is happening, it's also specialty tea which they're trying to develop in order to compete with the international market. So for me, it's a lot to do with providing honest information to my customers, which led me on this journey, and which I'm still on today. And obviously for myself as a tea consumer, I feel like it's very important to be able to ask a tea producer when the harvest was, how they've been working, how the season's been, in order to transmit the information to my customers. So tea is relatively quite a new market in Argentina. We are still trying to encourage people to leave the tea bags and go to loose tea, for example, something which I think in Europe has already overcome, though I'm still a fan of tea bags for certain teas. But basically on an annual basis, I am seeing the great interest, which gives me a lot of encouragement, a lot of and developing my skills in the tea market to bring tea people together, to share ideas, to share knowledge, and just advance in terms of how we are working today.